that for a minute. But then the second part of that question is, did you ever consider servicing, kind of taking your skills and knowledge as a marketer and as someone that knows how to really build a business and build revenue and help other types of companies that were not SaaS? Or was it very clear to you from day one, like, no, I'm going to build a company that really just focuses on software as a service companies?
So software as a service is where we focus initially because that's where, I've had the most success in my background. And SaaS was really exploding starting in about 2014-ish when a lot of companies started to emerge, and we had been building Wild Apricot during that time. But now you see everybody starting a SaaS company, but back then it wasn't as common. So I saw that as a market opportunity, and it was more of a specialization approach because there are a lot of marketing principles that overlap across e-commerce versus SaaS versus, let's say, you're going to manufacturing. But if you're thinking about SaaS in particular, there are some things that are unique to that context. I have advised e-commerce companies, companies that sell, let's say, bone broth or weighted jump ropes and things like that I've done in the past. But by focusing on SaaS, you can build standardized practices that help those companies better
Yeah.
because it's a specialization.
Did you ever feel a pull though to take your skills and knowledge and, let's say, yeah, like also target e-commerce? Like a lot of, I think this is a challenge, Shiv, that a lot of consultants have, which is, I can help X, Y, and Z. Why just only focus on X? Was that very clear for you? I mean, or did you ever feel like you were being pulled to have a bit more of a broader message that not only appealed to SaaS companies, but also to other e-commerce companies or other online businesses?
I mean, that pull is constantly there. I think one of the hardest things in any business is saying no to revenue. When
Yeah.
you have when you have guaranteed revenue coming in or somebody that wants your help, the inclination is to say yes. One of the things that came about from building Wild Apricot and just being deeply embedded into business and strategy through high level conversations and executive meetings and things like that is I'm a big believer in the Michael Porter line, which is strategies not what about what you do, it's about what you don't do. And
Mhm.
so for me, when I look at our business, yes, we can chase other revenue, but we constantly say no to revenue that's beyond what we specialize in just because it's not in our wheelhouse. And we even in our sales decks, we have a slide that says ideal customer profile. And it says you have to be above this much revenue. Your deal sizes need to be this. You need to have a marketing leader on staff, right? You need to be at this level of maturity. And if you're not a good fit for us, and we can definitely refer you to someone. And it becomes a disqualifier in sales meetings, and we lose some deals that way. But when we find the person that's an ideal fit, they know that they found the right partner as well.
Is that like, so I'm going to play the devil's advocate here, and for someone listening, going, yeah, that makes sense for you. You're established. You have 2 million in revenue. Were you also doing that? Were you applying that mindset even in the earlier days of the business, or is that something that you now kind of feel like, you have the luxury because you've established a good solid base to build on?
Even in the earlier days, it comes down to building a differentiated position. So I mean, we sell we're a marketing strategy consulting firm specifically for B2B companies, and we work with high level investors that are buying and selling companies for hundreds of millions of dollars, right? So there are plenty of marketing agencies out there that can, for example, set up your Google ads for you.
Right.
If that's the work that we try to chase, then we're going to be playing in a commoditized market. And then the way to win is by lowering your price. And as a consultant, that's the last place you want to be. You don't want to compete on price. You want to compete on value. And then price is no longer a factor, right? Because you want to be operating in high margins. So by starting there, we set ourselves up for success because, it was painful initially because, I quit my job. I left a significant amount of equity on the table, high paying executive salary with all the benefits of travel and a corporate card and all that stuff. And when you leave, you have these opportunities come to you and you're saying no to the revenue. And like, I'm talking with my wife about it and she's like, why are we saying no to money when there's not enough business initially, right? But you're doing that because over the long run, you're going to build a better business that is more sustainable with a differentiated position. And as time goes on, your margins are only going to grow because of that differentiated position. And that's hard to do. And every person's situation is different. Like I would say earlier on, if you're, let's say, pre that situation, it's okay to take on some of that work just to keep yourself afloat. but the North Star should always be to build that differentiated position.
Yeah, I love that. That's really